All right, on page 18 of your notebook, you can title it Physical Properties. This is what we're going to be talking about the next week and a half, is physical chemical properties and changes. Physical properties and changes is something that you guys are introduced in 6th grade. When you talk about atoms, elements, and whatnot, whether you remember or not, you did learn it then. Physical changes you guys have down pretty well, especially judging by your pre-assessment. So when we talk about melting, freezing, boiling, condensation, sublimation, you guys seem to know that pretty well. The properties you're trying to take you on, but it's not as hard as you think. Laptops number 10 through 15. Open them up. We got number 7. You need to make sure yours is plugged in. A physical property is anything that you can observe or measure without changing what it is you are observing or measuring. For instance, mass. Can I weigh a rock without actually changing what it is? Yeah. It's a physical property. No matter what I do to it, it's still that substance. If I have an ice cube and I melt it, is it still the same substance? Yes or no? If I have an ice cube and I melt it, is it still the same substance? Is it still H2O? Yeah. Melting point is a physical property. I can melt something. I can just change its state of matter. It's still the same stuff at the molecular level. It's still H2O, whether it's a solid, liquid, or gas. So melting point, boiling point, freezing point, those are all physical properties. I don't have to change what it is at the atomic level to figure out what the property is. All right, rest of the laptops, please put them up. Not perfect, but y'all doing much better today. I'll put these laptops up. If you can use one of your senses, sight, smell, touch, it's a physical property. If something is rough or smooth, that's a physical property. Notice that we're still doing Cornell Notes style, where we write the subject of what we're talking about or the question on the left. And then we're answering the question or discussing the notes on the right. I underlined the words without changing the substance. That's a particular thing that I want you to really either highlight, circle, underline. That is a focus point. When you think physical property, physical change, You need to know that you're not changing what the substance is. You're just changing how it looks or observing how it looks. How much it weighs, what it smells like. All right, on our Cornell notes, on the left side I have name some physical properties. Some you may not think about is magnetism. Do you remember that question on the warm-up last week where we said we ran a magnet over a powder and 4 grams of the powder stuck to the magnet? That's physical property. Is it magnetic? Iron is very magnetic. Now put iron, Fe is the chemical symbol for iron. We already talked about boiling points. If I heat up iron to 2,862 degrees Celsius, it will melt. I know that because people have done it. They've melted iron to see what temperature does it melt. It is still iron at the atomic level, so that is a physical property. It's just liquid iron now. Same thing for freezing point and melting point. Somebody has melted iron, somebody has boiled iron, somebody has frozen iron or returned it to a solid. Notice the melting point and freezing point of iron. 1,538 degrees Celsius is the melting point. What's the freezing point? Same thing. Think about it. On that stair-step graph we had on page, I don't know, like 8, something like that. Remember, when you go up the graph, there is a point in which a solid changes to a liquid. That's called what? Melting. If you are liquid and you're going back to solid, that happens at the same temperature. So at that temperature, something's happening. Either something's turned into a liquid or something's turned into a solid. Depending on if the heat is coming in or leaving is what happens. So your melting point, your freezing point are the same. Your boiling point and your condensation point are also the same. Oh, we gotta go. We'll pick this up tomorrow.